Big LEZ'S League, an all rugby league experience. Hello, welcome back to Big LEZ'S League, an all rugby league experience. I'm your host, Big Les. I did want to get stuck into my SuperCoach again. I know it has not really been a while between drinks from our last SuperCoach episode, but we have made a couple of changes, watching a couple more podcasts and just getting my teeth stuck into my team a little bit more, thinking about the fact you're probably going to have to be making more money. In the opening rounds of the competition, you're going to be making money from round one realistically. I think I had a good team before, but just fine-tuning a few different things, getting some other guys in that I think could really start quite well. I have made a couple of changes to my team, so we will get stuck straight into it. It will be a little bit of a shorter episode, I guess, from the last one, considering the fact that we haven't made too many changes. It is pretty similar to last time. You've only freshly seen my team. To be honest, this might actually come out a couple of days after recording too. I'll obviously wait and see, but let me just share my screen. We'll get the SuperCoach site up here. So there you go. There it is. That's my side currently at the moment. We have moved a couple of guys around and brought some guys in. So I think a point of weakness from the last episode was probably front row forward for me. Cody Hopwood, obviously a chance of coming in and playing first grade, but not 100%. Similar to guys like Coop Bai, who I think is 50-50. Jack Hetherington could definitely take that back row spot, but I also think that we could definitely see Atavalo Lasardi in there, so we might make a little change there as well. So definitely this isn't the final product or what we could look like for round one. Obviously, we're definitely going to make this changes to this side a couple of times before round one hits. I think the big one, obviously, the fact that we've moved Jesse Colquhoun into the starting front row forward position. We've got Tom Flegler and Taniela Paseka there on the bench. I've moved Toby Couchman into the back row. So a couple of different movements there. Haven't downgraded in front row forward from the starting perspective at all. Jesse Colquhoun, he'll start at 13 for the Sharks in the opening rounds, while Cam McInnes comes back into the side from the ACL. He probably won't be back until maybe round 7-8. So Jesse Colquhoun, I've got him in there at the moment with Payne Haas. Flegler, I think, will start in that Dolphin side. He might come off the bench to start the season, but I definitely think there is certainly an opportunity for him to start in that team. And then I've also got big Taniela Paseka as well, who I think will start for Manly too. 329K. It's a really, really good price. And that's compared to, obviously, we had Colquhoun in there on the bench for front row forward to start. But, compared to Cody Hopwood especially, all three of these guys, all four of these guys in front row forward are going to start. So I've sort of gone with that logic a little bit there in front row forward. And I've gone with pretty much all guys that will start for really good value. Colquhoun will start. Flegler will most likely start. And then so will Taniela Paseka. Payne Haas is the obvious one. So those are the changes I've made there. We'll skip hooker because we haven't made any changes there. If you want a bit more of a deeper explanation into hooker, from my side, go and watch the last podcast, the SuperCoach reveal that goes into that. We'll watch that after this podcast, obviously. Moving into second row forward, this is where I think we've made a couple of bigger changes. Toby Couchman, as I said, comes into the back row. I've taken out Hamish Stewart. Again, I don't really want to be playing on maybes to start the year. I think that if Hamish Stewart does start the year well, plays big minutes for that price, I'll bring him back in. But for the moment, I've just moved Couchman into that second row forward role. What I've also done is I've got Cam Murray there as well at 548K. I was umming and ahhing about him. They're obviously coming back from injury as well. There is a bit of a risk around Cam Murray, but I just feel like he's going to be playing big minutes in that South Sydney team. He is the lowest price you're going to see for Cam Murray ever, 548K, 548.9K, I should say. I think you've definitely got to jump on Cam Murray. As I said, I've been umming and ahhing about it a little bit on the podcast, just in regards to if it is worth taking the risk on Cam Murray. I'm going to do it. I'm going to go ahead and take that risk, and I think that it will pay off for me as well. Halem Lukey's still in there. As I said, I think he'll start in the back row and he'll play big minutes there too. But obviously, we'll wait for team list to make any changes in and around that. Dave Fafita's on my bench. I think he's a really good option there. I think he is a must-have at 485K with the ceiling. We talked about that in the last episode. Cooper Boy I'm keeping for the moment. That could obviously change pending team list. Jack Hetherington, same deal. It could change pending team list there as well. But those are two guys that I think will be in and around 17s come round one. I think Cooper Bye will be in the 17 for sure for the Titans, just with the lack of depth they've got at the moment in and around the forward pack. And then also with Jack Hetherington, I feel like, Craig Bellamy's going to get the best out of him. The Melbourne boys in the 167 podcast were talking about him as well and said how well he's been training since he's come in. So I think that he is really nice at 235k and dual position too, by the way, which I really do like for Hetherington if he can establish himself in this pack. He's a really good cheapie buy anyway. We'll skip halves. We haven't done anything to the halves. It's still the same. Cleary. The only change, I guess, for the halves is Cleary's my captain now because I did make the change at fullback. So Cleary is my skipper at the moment. That could change to either Herbie or Tom Trbojevic, maybe even Nico Hines as well. Nico Hines is my vice currently at the moment. That could change to Payne Haas or Herbie Farnworth, obviously pending my final thoughts, I guess, going into the year, or going into round one, I should say. Atkinson's been taken off my bench as well. So that's really the only changes for halves. My bench currently at the moment, before I guess we get into centre wings, my bench is Tom Flegler, who I think will, as I said, have a good, strong start coming back in. For feeder, I've got him there as well. Pezet, I've got as well. And then I've got Keanu Kinney, who we'll sort of get into in a second. We've already sort of touched on him a lot in the last podcast. For centre wing, a couple of changes. Tom Chester moves to the bench. Obviously, if you saw that little disclaimer note on the last podcast, we got Jalen de Groot out. That was sort of a bit of a placeholder for while we make a decision there. Since I've moved a couple of things around in my side, I've got better guys in, but I've also freed up a bit of cash as well to bring in, guys in and around the side and move a couple of things around. Stone Street's going to come into my starting team with Bailey Simonson, Val Holmes, and Herbie Farnworth. I think that's a really good way to start the year. You're getting real good value out of Simonson, who's going to take Lomax's spot next to Moses as well. Farnworth, Holmes, two of the better centre wings in SuperCoach. I'm staying away currently from Kiraz. That could change. He'll probably come in for Val Holmes. Stone Street, starting on the left wing where Ronaldo Militalo was. I think that's a really good buy at 496k. And then I've got Makasini. Obviously got the buy in round one, so won't have to worry too much about that there. That could obviously change too, depending on what we want to do, but I'm happy to keep him there. Tom Chester, he's going to take the starting centre spot, it sounds like. That's obviously pending team list. We can make a change there. Bring in another cheapie like a Farley or maybe even a James Walsh, who I'm hearing rumours could be pushing his way into the 17 a little bit, especially with how North Queensland are going to run their bench. It's probably going to be an all-forward bench, but you want someone that can play a couple of positions there. James Walsh is that guy, can play centre, back row, a little bit of a hybrid middle forward, similar to a Plath or a Donahue. I think that he could be a really, really good purchase as well if he is in the 17. And Chester is not. And what I do like about Chester as well, there's a little bit of dual there as well, so potentially a little bit of flexibility if he goes up in price and actually becomes a really good buy. I think that he could have a pretty similar sort of super coach if he does excel at centre, a pretty similar super coach sort of rise to a Purdue, probably not to the extent. Purely super coach, not so much ceiling and potential. I think Purdue's a terrific centre. But if he is going to play left centre there, Tom Chester, and they do get a lot of ball to their left side, which I think they will with Dearden and Purdue, I think that Chester might be scoring a couple of tries. And he's flexible as well. He can move around the side depending on what changes North Queensland makes throughout the year. I am a bit hesitant because it's a North Queensland player, and my sort of thinking is they probably won't go too well going into next year. I think they're probably the favourites for the spoon, you'd think. But I will take the risk on Chester for the moment, just with how good that prospect is at 216k, a starting centre. I don't mind that from our cheapies go. And because there's not a lot of cheapies in centre wing for the moment, or as far as we know, not established anyway. Obviously, since the ball hasn't been kicked yet. He's probably the needle in the haystack in that regard. Probably one of the only really good there's plenty of them. But I think Chester stands out to me a little bit. He does stand out to me. He's sort of been locked into a position there at North Queensland in the starting centres. We'll have to wait and see for team lists. I almost feel, even though, as I said, it is North Queensland, it is a risk, they're probably not going to go well. I don't know. Something just stands out for me for Chester. We've been sort of waiting for him to come into first grade for a while, more notably a fullback, and playing a little bit in the halves as well, so very versatile. I just have a feeling about Chester. I feel like Chester can really come off the ground running. Even if North Queensland aren't going too well, he might nab a few tries there at left centre position where they did go quite a bit last year. Granted, that was because Purdue was there and he was killing it. I just really like the prospect of Chester. Something for me stands out over guys like Makasini, Farley, Setu too, these sort of guys who are your other cheapies currently for centre wing. But Setu 2 is also in my side too. I've taken him out for David Farley. There's about a 30K disparity there between the two. I have used that 30K, or I'm going to keep it at the moment. I've left a plenty of cash on the table, about 141K, to sort of make a couple of changes. Big change I've made at fullback is Tom Trbojevic for James Tedesco. I, though, am sort of thinking with this as well, I'm not entirely set on Tom Trbojevic either. In fact, I was very comfortable with Teddy, and I had Teddy as my captain, very, very confident on him, and I'm probably still am at the moment. There's every world where I make a couple more changes and I bring Teddy back into my side. I just feel like I do feel as though Tom can really start the year well. They've got 2 really good games to start the year. The other guy I'm thinking about is Ponga. Now, I sort of, with the injuries and how I sort of see Newcastle going as well, was going to stay away from Ponga a little bit. I wasn't going to go down that route. But just looking at his draw, he has all, post-Vegas anyway, he has all day games until round 14. That is fucking unbelievable for Ponga, and he will excel on a dry track during the day, between 2 and 4:30 p.m. time brackets on Saturdays and Fridays. Not Fridays, Saturdays and Sundays mostly for the day games. That's unreal for Callum Ponga. And I think that if you're going to go with 2 fullbacks this year, the Trbojevic-Ponga tactic probably works out well for you to start the year. I do like a Teddy Iongi sort of pairing as well, and that was sort of a way that I was leaning to before. I wanted to go with the Hines flex route, which we, again, break down in the previous podcast. But I think that would be a really good pairing. If you're going to go for two fullbacks, the Ponga and Tom Trbojevic tactic, it does sound very, very good. I do like Tom Trbojevic for the moment, but it really could be Ponga for round 1. Especially with all those day games. I don't know. I just feel like I'm a little bit hesitant at the moment. I've got a bit of spare cash as well. That'll free up even more cash to get some more guns in and around the side as well, or just to save up as a bit of a safety bracket, or even potentially a bit of a window for me to jump to a Cody Walker. I'm not sure what the difference is. I think looking at fullbacks, if we go to search for players here, let's go Kalen Ponga. 607, so you're saving 90K almost between Tom Trbojevic and Callum Ponga. That's really not bad. That's not bad at all. Look, it'll be a wait and see for me. I'm still thinking about it. As I said, 9 times, most likely I'm going to go back to Tedesco because I really do like the Roosters, how they're looking. I think I've almost sort of gotten my head a little bit too, especially with with James Tedesco, Roosters. You've got Watson. Your spine is going to be Teddy, Dalichari Evans, Sam Walker, Reece Robson, Connor Watson. That's a lot of chefs in the kitchen. Now, while I do think that DCE can take a back seat and let Sam Walker do his thing, can Tedesco do that? Do they sort of take a little bit off each other as well, Tedesco and Sam Walker? Then you've got Connor Watson there at 13 too. I'm getting in a little bit in my head about that as well. I'm getting a little bit of head noise around that. But I do like the prospect of Tedesco, just with his support play, how involved he gets. He's really good on those play 1 and 2 carries coming out of his own end. Do I want to save a bit of money to start the year at fullback? I'm not too sure. I think that the Hines flex option gives me a window to go back to 2 fullbacks and to take Tedesco and then to still have a little bit of money to throw around. But for the time being, I'm going to go with Tom Trbojevic. That could change by next week. It honestly could. I'm seriously thinking about Tedesco, bringing him back into the side. I am thinking about Ponga as well if I want to go for that cheapie. But I'm almost looking at Kinney and going, fuck, do I just go to Ponga instead? But I think Kinney's too good at price-wise, $495K to start the year. I'm going to sit and wait for the moment. Obviously, we've got plenty of time before round one, and we have to make any tough calls. We've got the trials to watch as well over the next couple of weeks. So that's obviously going to be the big one for me. But yeah, for the moment, I have made a change there for Tom Trbojevic at fullback. Could very easily go back to Teddy or potentially go to Callum Ponga. Let me know what you guys are doing for the fullback spot. I love Tedesco and the prospect of Tedesco, the Roosters attacking outfit. Do I think there could be potentially too many chefs in the kitchen? I'm not too sure. I doubt that they'll play in the trials, and we'll get to see that. But you never know. We'll have to wait and see. And just conversations with myself and Sav on the Burst show when we do the Roosters preview. I think that is the next one that we're doing, or maybe one of the next ones that we're doing over the next couple of weeks. So we will sort of suss out then. But that's my side at the moment. Let us know what you guys are sort of thinking. I have made a couple of changes, more so around front row forward to fit a couple of guys in, also around 2RF as well. There's been a couple of changes there, just moving a couple of guys around. This will be the watch for me, Cooper Bye and Hetherington. That'll be a bit of a watch. I'm still second guessing Cody Walker, but I just love that left-hand side, so I might keep him. The only, I guess, super likely changes here at 2RF, maybe get some better guys in, or potentially the fullback spot, which I think will be the most likely change to come out over the next couple of weeks as we do a couple more team reveals prior to round one. It could be Tom Trbojevic to go to a Tedesco or potentially to a KP. Let me know what you guys are doing. Let me know out of those two what you think the better move might be, what has the better upside. I really do like the fact that KP's got a long stretch of day games on dry tracks, hopefully, as well as we come out of summer. I think that's going to be awesome. So let me know what you guys are thinking in the comment section below. What do you think of my side? We'll save the next team reveal for the next couple of weeks. I think we've done this one a little bit too close in, but I did make a couple of changes and I want to share with you, I guess, my thought process. Again, that's the thought process behind Plebs Playbook, guys. It is to show you guys what I'm thinking, to show you guys the changes that I'm making. If I am panicking over positions, to talk to you guys about it and to let you guys know where my head's sort of at and to hear your thoughts as well. I'm just like every one of you guys. The idea of Plebs Playbook is that we are one of the plebs with you guys, similar positions to you guys, absorbing all the same information as you guys and making calls based off that information as well. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Also, let me know if you liked my previous side better to this one. What one did you like better? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, Instagram, Big LEZ'S League _. Give us a follow. Growing really, really well. Definitely want to get some growth prior to charity match as well, to the Sports Edge TV charity match, which, by the way, 22nd of Feb for that one. So let me know down below. I'll put the link in the description. Buy some tickets. If you want to see me play some rugby league football for Mark Hughes Foundation, it'll be at Ringrose Park the 22nd of February. So make sure you buy your tickets. We'll put the link, as I said, in the description below. Instagram, give us a follow. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, get stuck into that. Subscribe to the YouTube. We have got some awesome interviews coming your way as well. The likes of Jake Marchetto, he's coming back on the podcast, along with another special guest who in the podcasting scene is quite fresh for rugby league. So we're going to get him on along with Marchetto. We're going to do our ladder prediction, which is going to be an awesome little podcast. We've also got Sophie Curtin as well, who played NRLW football for the West Tigers. She's going to jump on to talk about sports nutrition for athletes. She's currently doing her nutrition degree as well at uni. She's studying all fitness related stuff as well over there at uni. So she's obviously started her page a couple of months ago from a nutrition perspective. And yeah, I just want to get her thoughts, how athletes and NRL players, NRLW athletes as well, how they train, how they go about their nutrition, calories in, calories out, if that's worth it for athletes, getting into all that great stuff. So plenty of great content coming your way on the podcast. Click down below to get stuck in. We'll see you guys in the next one.